falls into it if you're using Copics, sorry. But I'm going to go ahead and say this doesn't count for the purpose of this video, and I'm going to put this one off to the side and allow me to use it because it's not technically a color, it just sort of blends things, they look nicer. And I will be using a ballpoint pen to ink my drawing. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead, cannot see, I'm going to be shuffling these colors up and picking 3 at random. I'm hoping they're colors that go together, but for the life of me I have no idea. I'm going to go with this one. This one. And this one. Oh boy. Alright. So I got R22 Light Prawn, Cool Gray number 3, and Y28 Lionette Gold. Now I think the worst thing about this challenge for me is going to be that my C3 Cool Gray had to be refilled because it dried out, and I'm going to have to deal with a faded color. So this is probably a lot closer to a C2 or a C1. Okay. Now I have to think about what I'm going to do with these 3 colors. Because while they kind of go together, it's not something I would traditionally use for my art pieces because there's not a ton of color. Like, the only thing to brighten things up is pink, which is not my first choice. Honestly, if I had my choice of colors, I'd have liked probably red, blue, and yellow. Would have been my choices. I know I have a lot of neutral tones and not really colors in there, but regardless, let's see what I can come up with. Alright, so the first thing you're probably wondering is why I didn't start out with a drawing or start out with inking the drawing, and that's because I was just having a bad time with this challenge, and I tried over and over and over again with the same 3 colors and the same, mermaid idea, and it just wasn't working out for me. Fortunately, this one turned out okay. So I think the biggest challenge that came with this was to try to add some, pop to the piece with only 3 markers, 2 of them being pretty dull colors, and 1 of them being extremely bright. So obviously the tail stands out a lot here. And I was trying to add just a little bit of diversity in shade using the colorless blender on the fin, and that didn't work out too well for me, and it bled everywhere. And I know what you're thinking, wow, you're such a novice. I was having a bad day. Usually I don't make stupid mistakes like that when it comes to blending down the markers, because they are my preferred form of medium, and I would say I'm probably best with that medium. So I used the gray as a skin tone, and I guess my Copic had had time to rest, and it was a whole lot darker than it had ever been in the past. So that was an issue, and I tried to blend down that color. I would have liked to have a background color just to give the illusion of the gray marker not being as dark as it was, but there was nothing I could really do about it, so I just attempted to make the rock a lot darker than the skin tone in hopes that it would kind of wash out the color a little bit, which it didn't do a lot of, but it did a little bit, so I'll accept it. I went back to the tail and I tried to fix the tail fin, and it just was not working out for me, so I watered down the skin again, I tried to water down the tail again, I added some shading to the hair, made some areas darker than others, I attempted to white out the bleeding with my white jelly pen, and that didn't work out. So eventually I gave up and I pulled out my black Sharpie, which I used to outline the whole entire piece all over again, just to fade out that gray color of the skin and cover all the bleeding that happened with the tail fin. So thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, give it a big thumbs up and consider subscribing, because I post 2 times a week, and who doesn't want 2 days a week of art?